Hi guys, welcome back to Sim UK. This is part 3 of the Dortmund to Kaiserslautern route, and there is a lot to talk about. Got 3 pages of information here to discuss. Now, don't panic. Some of that is the stuff that I've already talked about in part 1 and part 2. I'm just going to briefly go over that for the benefit of those of you who haven't seen the first 2. Very, very briefly, just skim over the top of that. And then we're going to come into all of the confirmed features that were supposed to be there on release and the considerably exciting many features that are now confirmed to be coming from TML Studios. So there's a few things I'd like to mention straight off the bat. First of all, on this Friday on September 16th, thank you to, it's either Eirik or Eric, who mentioned this. Squirrel.tv will be hosting a live Fernbus Coach Simulator episode, and they will have TML and Aerosoft represented there. Now, if you haven't heard of Squirrel, he's a fantastic YouTuber, been around for a very long time, does an awful lot of the same sort of stuff I do. So if you haven't heard of him, definitely go check him out. He's fantastic. If you do go, please come back. Please come back and see me occasionally. But yeah, I think if you're interested in Fernbus Coach Simulator, then you need to go watch that video, that live stream, I should say, because there's going to be an awful lot of information covered, and you can ask questions there too. So that's important that we do that. Okay, so let's load up the game and then see what we can do from here. Okay guys, so here we are in the very noisy, very aptly noisy Frankfurt airport. Now you can see I'm parked like a bit of a din. If you didn't see the last video, that's because some old dude was just stood in the way and he would not move. So let's park up properly first of all. First things first, allow the traffic to pass. Okay, so here we are. You can hear the aeroplanes flying overhead. That's so good. The ambient noise in this game is fantastic, and I dare say if I looked in the right direction, I've no doubt I'd be able to see that aeroplane taking off. But the camera's a bit fiddly in this tight space. So, first things first, thank you to everybody who's been watching the series so far, especially those of you who have offered advice. Thanks to you guys, I now have high beam. That's going to cheer some of you up. I've bound that to a button, so that's easy to deal with. Big thanks on that one to FCS. I think, who was it? No, well, loads of you actually pointed out that the high beam button was F, so I've now bound that to a button. Thank you so much. I've had Romain who informed me if you hit tab, it brings up the head modifying, the head up display modifying thing. It's ugly, it's horrible. Basically I wanted to have the mirrors so I don't have to look in these tiny mirrors here. Oh yes, I fixed my zoom issue. So maybe these mirrors will be far more pleasant to work with. But I can't use those mirrors, Romain, I'm sorry. They're just so ugly and I can't really control them. It's a nightmare, so I'm leaving that as it is. What else do we have? We have the fantastic Eric, who pointed out that here, where the clock is, you also have the number of miles you've travelled, kilometres you've travelled, and the amount of time you've been driving, and I think it's every 4 hours you need to take a break. So that's a useful piece of information that I wasn't aware of. I can now click things on and off. I think I just lowered the bus completely by accident. Yeah, I did. I don't know what half of these things do, so I'm just going to leave them all off purely because I don't know what they do. Some of them are a bit more obvious, like this one. Oh, that's good. You can zoom in when you're outside. I didn't realise that. So anyway, enough faffing about. Let us get this show on the road. Now, what time is it? It's 1:52. Have I made us late by delaying all this information? By talking all this rubbish, I should say. Wow, I'm a bit fiddly in thumbs for some reason. It's because I've got so much to do. Let me just think what I'm doing here. Okay, so we're due to leave here at 1:58. And it's currently 1:52, so we got 6 minutes. So it's not too bad. Let me just, whoops, sit down again. Open the doors and the side hatches. We've emptied out quite a bit, which is good because I think we got quite a few getting on. Hello, madam. Let me see here. Oh, only 8. Only 8.
Hallo, fahren Sie in meine Richtung?
No, I'm sorry, you're not one of ours. Hello, sir.
Bitte schön. Oh, jetzt wäre ich fast in den falschen Bus eingestiegen.
Bitte schön.
Yes. Yes, we got one.
Ciao.
Ciao.
Grüezi, mein Ticket. Danke sehr.
Yes, you're one of ours. Hello, sir.
Fahren Sie in meine Richtung? Auf geht's.
Let's
Fahren
go.
Sie in meine Richtung? Sehr freundlich.
Very kind. Hello, sir.
Fahren Sie in meine Richtung? Ciao. Hallo, Sie wollen bestimmt mein
Hello.
Ticket.
Yes, I'd like to see your ticket.
Auf geht's.
Let's go.
Grüezi, mein Ticket. Danke. Grüezi, bin ich hier richtig? Danke.
That's it, guys. That's everybody. Just check the luggage. That looks pretty good. Let's check it this side. Yes, we're looking fine. None of it is secured or well organised. That's perfect. Right. Let us sit back down. So it is 1:54. Again, we're not due to leave until 1:58, so we have 2 minutes. So that gives me 2 minutes to chitty chat with you about some stuff. So on the 2nd of September, as you will most likely know, being fans of the Fernbus Coach Simulator. Let's just check I've got these doors closed. Yes, yes, yes. Okay, good. Yes, on the 2nd of September there was an update released, and in that update, I'm just going to check, keep my eye on the time. In that update we had many features, but I'll just briefly go over them here. All the menus were overhauled, as you've seen. There was clearer descriptions, arcade and realistic, for example. A better layout overall. Background images were added, which gave a nice feel. Music was added. There was a loading screen image, and occasionally you may have seen in my videos that I had 2 coaches pop up at the end of a drive. That's been fixed as well. None of those things really help the gameplay, but it's good to see that they took on board people who were like, whoa, this menu's like really basic and really you ought to do something about it. So they did, and that's fantastic. They've updated the map as well, so if we just look at the map very quickly, you can see that now they have added these icons. Oh, maybe you don't see it in, yeah, where these circles are. These are either red crosses if you haven't been there, or open circles if you have, but it doesn't show in this view, so apologies for that. But that's been fixed as well. Coaches, raindrops on the windscreen and raindrops on the roof of the vehicle. I'm not sure that's working. I did listen out for it, but I didn't hear it, so I don't think that's working. Air conditioning after you loaded a saved game would be at the correct temperature. That's been fixed. Sound of the doors is played correctly. I don't know what the problem with that was. I haven't noticed much difference, I must be honest. The announcement, this guy over here, you couldn't turn him off. If you accidentally clicked that button or pressed the keyboard button, you couldn't stop that guy from talking. So anyway, that's better. Passenger voices have been added. They're all German, and I suspect that in time we'll get some British. Okay, well, it's time to go. we'll get some British voices on there. I hope anyway. I've offered my services for free to be a passenger. That would be fantastic if that was fixed. In arcade mode you used to be able to turn the engine off whilst you were driving. You can't do that anymore. There were some fixes to subtitles. Passenger comments come up more frequently, and passenger comments come up quicker, so when you drive erratically you get a comment very quickly instead of 10 seconds after the event. Navigation's been fixed. There were speed limits introduced, and some places where there weren't speed limits they've been introduced. Some places where there were speed limits, they were the wrong speed limit, so you were driving at 50, you should have been driving at 70. You get complaints from the passengers. That's been fixed. A number of cities have been fixed: Konstanz, Augsburg, Saarbrücken and Halle. Thank you to CSC for pointing out that you say Halle and not Halle, because I couldn't figure that out myself. Navigation starts from the depot, so if you start at the depot there never used to be any navigation. That now works. Speed limits for Frankfurt Airport, Berlin, Cologne, München, Hamburg, Halle has all been fixed as well. And you can see I'm just getting to the end of my first page. Numerous other small fixes, languages for between German and British. I think they need to reinvestigate that. That hasn't been fixed in my opinion. Some of the terminology is confusing to say the least. Tooltips, I haven't seen any. Maybe that's in the menu. Inputs are supposedly better off. Again, I see no difference there. Profile management and recorded kilometers per hour. So you can see here kilometers per hour. That was all incorrect before, and on the map we're 141 kilometers from our destination, but that wasn't working properly. That's now fixed apparently, and there are improvements to levels of detail, although there's no information about what that means. Okay, so that was a high speed, fast tempo beginning to this journey. Let's get into reverse. There we go. And wow, for a moment there my mouse wasn't working again. So these mirrors really do need to be fixed. They're just too dark. You know, if a car is coming, just make the whole thing white. You know, like in a real vehicle when you can't see anything in the mirror because the headlights are too bright from the vehicle behind. Okay, let's crack on. Steady fella. Nearly had an accident there. So this is the, let me just turn the AC on for a start. Forgot to do that, apologies. So this is Frankfurt Airport, and I think it's fantastically detailed, as is pretty much everything in this game. I love the ambient noises of the aircraft, so you can hear an aircraft taxiing to its runway right now. You can see aeroplanes flying through the sky occasionally. It's just beautiful. It's really, really fantastic. Just a brief bit of information. There's a stop sign here, and I'm going left. So what can I tell you about Frankfurt Airport? Apparently Frankfurt is has been ranked as the 7th highest quality of life living in Frankfurt. That's quite impressive. That's in the world, not just Germany. And Lufthansa have a first-class terminal here, so if you fly Lufthansa aircrafts from Frankfurt Airport, you will be potentially privileged to lounge in their first-class lounge. And I haven't been there, but I suspect it's absolutely gorgeous. If you've been there, then please let me know in the comments if it's nice. So we have high beam now. Look at that, guys. We can actually see where we're going. Now, whoops. Whoa, a bit of crazy growth going on here. Need to get the gardeners in. Now this is what the game does do very well. The layout of the roads, it just works perfectly. The AI there, obviously, just braking for no damn good reason. That's a problem. And something that's in the list of things that are going to be fixed, obviously. I mean, you can see the traffic in the outside lane is travelling far too slowly there. Now, I don't really want to put high beam on because it's unfair to the other drivers, but I mean, it's not very good, is it? Visibility without it, so that's a necessity, I'm afraid. Let's just go around this truck and I shall start telling you about the next bunch of features. So as you may or may not have known, when this game was released, it was released without all the functionality that it was intended to have. So they released it early. Whoops. They released it early, and it should really have been released as early access. Goodness me, nearly missed my turning then. I can't wait until they've got this GPS thing sorted out. You can zoom on it and, you know, get some idea of where you're going before you reach the location. Oh, speeding. Another thing that's going to be fixed is the speeding, because it's very difficult to tell how fast you're going because you can't see the dash all that well. The only thing you can do really is zoom in, and that's just not practical. Alright. I'm going around a very sharp bend as carefully as I can. I do apologise. Just look out over the motorway there. Looks fantastic. Again, everything looks fantastic. Just take that as default. Everything looks fantastic by default. Even when it's broken, it still looks fantastic. So yes, the features which were meant to be in the game at the point of release and weren't are as follows, and I'll do this as best I can whilst driving, because reading and driving is not a particularly sensible approach to driving, especially when you've got corners like that coming out of nowhere. So in-game languages, there's been a lot of discussion from people who want their languages covered, and I quite understand. And that's not just in terms of passenger voices, it's in terms of the text in the menu area and all sorts of things. So some of the languages that are definitely going to be covered were supposed to be in the release but failed to make it. Danish, Dutch, French, Greek, Hungarian, Polish, Russian, Slovakian, Spanish and Turkish. There you go. That's all the languages that are definitely coming. They were meant to be there in release and just weren't. I was nervous then that truck might drive into me. So yes, I just have to go around this car because he's driving very slowly. No doubt the GPS will want us to turn off here, and that'll all turn into a nightmare. Cannot see in that right hand mirror at all. Disastrous. So yes, other additional features. The radio will work. You'll have music in cab, and like the Truck Simulator series, you will also have online radio streaming capability, which is fantastic. I don't know that I've ever been on a coach where they have the radio playing, but that's not to say that it doesn't happen or that it shouldn't happen. So that at least is going to be added, which is fantastic. I suppose in reality, if I weren't talking to you guys about all these features, this might be quite a lonely, quiet journey for me, and maybe having the radio on would definitely ease the boredom that might be attributed to such a long drive. Track IR, ladies and gentlemen, is definitely meant to be included and is coming, and we've only got 79 kilometers to go. That means we're halfway there, and I've not even got past page 2 yet. Maybe I'll slow down or speak faster. Track IR is definitely coming, as is mouse steering. For those of you who don't have a steering wheel, mouse steering is on its way, but I highly recommend you get a steering wheel. It makes a lot of difference, an awful lot of difference. And this side panel here from Cytec is actually for Farming Simulator, but it works perfectly for this game and many other games, I must add. I'm doing a review on this very soon, so keep your eyes open for that if you're interested in this device. Moving on, signs to be lit with spotlights. So as you drive along the motorway, if you're in low beam for example, you can't see very much. I think this lighting is going to be fixed, but if you pass a road sign, usually they're lit up in some way, and in the game at the moment that isn't present, but that is also coming. These are things that were meant to be in release, so these are definitely coming. In addition to that, repaint functionality for the buses themselves. Presumably you can have features added, well, you know, to stylize your own bus and have your own coach company, I guess is what the point of that is. The wheels can be changed, the rims, if you will, that's all going to be included. AI buses are going to be included, because at present you may or may not have noticed we're the only coach in all of Germany, which is why we're so busy. Of course, I'm joking. There are going to be AI buses and pulling up to bus stops and all sorts of fantastic cool stuff like that is going to be included. Controller, gamepad controllers not currently covered. You can use them. Oh no, not a police stop. That's really not convenient. You can, alright, I was going to stop. You don't have to slam your brakes on. So yes, what was I saying? AI buses are coming. Control pads are not currently supported. You can use them, but as many of you have already mentioned to me, it can be quite jerky. Whoa! We're stopping here then. It could be over responsive, too twitchy as it were. So that's functionality for that. Support for that is coming. What do you mean light? What? I failed because my headlights are on? That's just annoying. I can't see anything if I don't put them on, officer. Alright, we don't need to rest, so we're just going to drive straight on out of here. Let's see if I can drive straight on out of here. Hope I can. It looks very overgrown at the moment. I have to drive through some hedges. Oh, it's not too bad. Not too bad. Is there anything coming? Can't see anything. That's good. So, when you create routes, you will be able to import and export those routes, which I think is fantastic. You'll be able to share them throughout the community, if you so wish. Share them with your friends and what have you. Navigation in free ride, that's when you're not doing a bus, a passenger route. That currently is not active, but it is coming. So if you do free ride at the moment, you can't have sat nav. Don't know why that is, but that's the case. Also, the navigation system is going to be considerably upgraded. I only found out yesterday, actually, that when you reach level 4, you don't only have to drive motorways. You unlock sort of what's the word? Rural roads. And once those rural roads are unlocked, the sat-nav will be able to be programmed so that you don't just drive motorways. You can switch between motorways and rural roads at your leisure, which makes for a much more interesting drive, I think, and it's a very nice feature. I think we're coming off here. Yes, Kaiserslautern. So like these signs here, you can't see them at the moment. There'll be lights will be added to those so that you can see them at night. Wow, goodness me. Driving too slowly. It's because I'm trying to read whilst going around a corner. New pedestrians and passengers. There's no pedestrians at the moment, but there's going to be a whole bunch of new passengers just to make the game that much more exciting.
Was für ein Seegang ist das?
Wow, I went off the road a little bit there. In addition, what else have we got? Modding level editor, so you can create your own levels. Now I think that allows you to create new countries, new routes, new everything. That would be fantastic. I hope that's exactly what they mean. There's a slight language barrier between what they are saying and our interpretation of it. Look at the detail on this thing here. That's a farm, I guess. But yeah, that's my understanding of that. I hope I'm correct there. Hopefully this Friday we'll find out more information and get confirmation on a lot of these things. Be fantastic to hear what TML and Aerosoft have to say. In addition, we're going to have driver's seat decorations. Your interpretation of that is probably as good as mine. The city of Kassel is going to be included, and high scores are going to be available, so you can see how well you're playing against other people online, as it were. Now, two things that were supposed to be there that have been included are sound files for passengers. Unfortunately, they're only in German at the moment. Way! I was completely not paying attention. I can't actually see the lights now. That's a bit of a shame. I just have to guess when it's time to go. Or I could just look outside. Yeah, and music in the menu. So that those two things have been added. So there's an awful lot that's coming. Now, since release date, there are a lot of things that have been included. People have requested an awful lot of stuff, and TML have confirmed that they're going to include a massive amount of things. And this is the list now. This is the one that excites me the most. The rest of it is just kind of what should be there, the basics. But this stuff is, some of it at least, is absolutely fantastic, and I'm really excited about some of it. Now, a beautiful menu they promised to produce, and I believe they've done that. I mean, a menu's a menu. I'm not that excited about it. It doesn't make the game better particularly, but they've done the menu, so that's good. You can stop the announcements. So this guy down here, previously couldn't turn him off, so now you can. That's been done. They promised that. That's now fixed. Still having some issues with my buttons here, looks like. Navigation to recalculate the route if you make the wrong turning. That actually seems to work fine. I think it always works fine, but perhaps at some point it didn't. That's now working much better. And this is these are the big things. The DLCs, Austria, the Alps, the Netherlands, Switzerland, Poland, Italy. Beautiful places. I can't wait for that. The DLC for this game is going to be, there's going to be a lot of it. It's going to be fantastic. I'm really excited to get my hands on the Alps, especially, but probably all of them, if I'm being honest. And I'd like to see some in Britain, but that hasn't been confirmed. Anyway, online weather updates. How fantastic is this? Dynamic weather that's relevant to wherever it is you're currently driving. How spectacularly awesome is that? Damn it, I wanted to move over there. Bit too late. Never mind. We'll merge in, as we can see ahead. There's a merging lane. So, what else is coming? Animation of passengers getting on and off the bus. That actually was present in the beta release, but it was causing a lot of problems. So they've taken it out until they can fix it, which is, I think, probably the best decision. So that would be nice. That'll add to the immersion of the game and the added level of realism. I think we're getting close to our bus stop, guys. Animated garage doors in depots, so you can actually drive in and out of the depot. Currently that's not something that's active at all. And there's our bus stop. Look, here we are, guys. The entire route, we've completed it, and I've got so much more to tell you. AI should overtake on country roads. That's fantastic. If you've seen my Bus Sim 16 episodes, you'll see that nothing overtakes me ever, regardless of anything. It's very annoying. Let me just get these passengers off the bus, and then whoa, I think I might be on the curb as the bus just slides off. Okay, so everybody should be able to get off now. Thank you, everyone. Oh god, they've already gone. Look, all got their bags and off they head with their identical matching bags. And this guy's stuck on a pole. Poor fella. Am I in his way? Shall I move? Can I help him? No, he's stuck there. So these guys are all just going to walk off over there to those two cars and stand in a huddle and discuss my driving. I think that's pretty much what happens there. Look how amazing this game looks. Absolutely gorgeous. I didn't really tell you anything about Kaiserslautern. What can I tell you about Kaiserslautern? They're famous, very, very famous for football. Kaiserslautern football team, obviously. They took very heavy bombing in the war, and they're now, due to the bombing in the war, they've rebuilt everything, and they're now the sort of tech mecca centre of Germany, and also for education. So Kaiserslautern, where all the smart people live. So it looks like that pole that he was stuck behind has disappeared, but he's decided to stand there anyway. And there's the huddle, guys. Here they all are. Are you talking about me? Are you talking about my bus route? Yes. So there's a bit of work to be done on AI, passenger AI and pedestrians, but that's okay. There's an awful lot of good stuff coming, as I'm sure you will agree. Now let me just sit down and, oh, you know what I completely forgot? I didn't even start the route or anything. Absolute disaster. So I'm going to log out. We'll see what our score is. Now, some stuff I've already told you about, and it's coming. I'm literally going to read this off to you now, guys, as quickly as I can. So when you start the game, you get to pick your day, date, time, level of realism. That's going to default to whatever the current date and time is. I've told you that before. There's going to be more emergency vehicles. They're going to be dynamic in terms of sometimes they're racing to get to a destination and you're going to have to pull over and let them pass. What would be fantastic is if they're actually chasing somebody occasionally. How wicked would that be? But we'll see. Better readability of the speedometer because it's simply too small. That's coming. I guess that's a good thing. Maybe a digital dash layout, something like that. Better AI, that's obviously an essential part, and we're looking forward to that. Smaller service stations on the highways, and special trips. Special trips being you need to take this coach from A to B to have it fitted with new wheels. I don't know. Stuff like that. That could be interesting. Whole bunch of new buses, Cetra, VDL, Temsa and Mercedes. Private announcements. I think that means that you can announce to the passengers instead of having an automated one. That would be cool for some of you especially. Let me see. Hyde Park is going to get a stop. I don't really know what that means, but it's on the list, so I'm going to say it. Zoom in for navigation. You can zoom in and out, which is essential, I think. Extra speed display is going to be on the mini-map. So like in Truck Simulator, that's going to be there. Better cruise control. Don't really know what the problem with that is, but then I haven't really tried it out. That's going to be fixed. You can stop at Europa Park. I don't know what that is, but you can stop there. Cockpit functions, tank range, digital speed indicator, and the activated cruise control is going to be displayed because at present that information is not there or is not clearly visible. More passengers, as I've mentioned. Passengers will take their bikes. You'll be able to look out the driver's window, like in Truck Simulator, so you can look down the back and side of the coach, which is good for reversing, I guess. A reverse camera, so that you can look backwards, which is good, I guess. Lots more cities, which I've mentioned before. I'm not going to try and pronounce these because they're beyond my capabilities. An economic system, sorry, that should have been one of the first things I mentioned. Now, there's not a lot of information on that, so on Friday when they're having a chat, I am going to be asking them about the economic system and what they're going to be showing and producing there. My mind, if it takes off, I could get so excited about what this game could be, and the economic system oh wow. TML I don't think are the most professional company, or maybe not the largest company, or both, so they do have restrictions, but this game could be so good and so big. I think they need to consider at least taking on more people and really pushing this. What else is there going to be? About 10 more things, guys. Mouse control for steering. Driver's seat can change position up and down. Currently that isn't capable. AI police with flashing lights and drive. Maybe they pull us over, I don't know. Additional announcements at the terminus. For example, thanks for the ride at FlixBus. Maintenance on the buses. That should have been at the top. That's a really big, massive thing. The fact that your coaches can get, broken over time, and then you can fix them. There will not be any damage in the game. That's absolutely not going to happen. That's a requirement from FlixBus. I kind of understand where they're coming from. It's a bit of a shame, but it's not the end of the world, I don't think. You'll be able to hide the steering wheel should you wish. and you'll be able to set and move your own camera positions, which is fantastic. And a functioning tachograph. There we go, guys. That's everything I know that's coming in this game. Let's just very quickly have a look and see how we did here. So we've got 2,424 XP. That's pretty good. Transported 58 passengers of 34. My mind is blown by the simple backward logic of how badly broken that must be. Either we did exceptionally well or we did incredibly poorly. But we got 10 points, so I'm assuming we did exceptionally well and gained extra passengers, although I'm sure that's not the correct number. Tickets sold, 3 of 0. This whole thing's broken. It needs fixing, clearly. They've got so much work to do on this game. I reckon in a year, maybe 2 years, this game is going to be off the charts amazing, but it's going to be a long, hard slog for them. And we're hopefully going to be encouraging and pushing them the whole way to make sure they don't go and look at a new project before they finish this one. Stops completed, 1 of 4. What the frigging hell? That makes no sense. Contract with Central, yeah, okay, I did miss one. I concede that. I didn't have to refuel, so that's good. Apparently not running out of fuel is also good. And in total 555 kilometers. I don't know why I'm reading all this out to you. You can see it, guys, you can see it. I'll just do the interesting stuff. That's all pretty basically normal. Feel free to pause and have a good look at it yourself. Traffic rules, okay. I damaged some property, not sure what that was. Did have 1 accident and 1 speeding ticket. So, okay, radar control, speeding ticket, that's what that is. Driving behaviour, yeah, I thought I might get a few problems here. Safety distance broken. I don't know what that means. I think that's either driving too close to the car in front, which would be cool if that's a thing, or it means going off the road. I don't know. And I hit 1 curbstone apparently. Steering misbehaviours, turning too sharply 7 times. Okay, that's pretty good overall. We should be on level 4 now, and that's pretty much us done. Thank you so much, guys. I need to get the phone. Okay, guys, so we are now level... Oh, shame. We're still level 3. I thought we might have possibly... we haven't unlocked the FlixBus routes. That will be coming soon. Level 4. So I'll probably drive off camera and get to level 4. And then that will unlock this. And then maybe I'll do a couple of videos on that if you guys are interested. If you're not, then that's fine. But if you're interested, please let me know in the comments. Just say, yeah, that'd be super cool, man. Definitely do that. And I will definitely do that. So until next time, thank you very much for watching. Take care of yourselves. Goodbye.